Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive question. In a world where AI is getting smarter by the day, what's the actual point of a traditional education? Is the very system we've trusted for centuries now, well, broken?
Right, let's just jump straight in with an image we all kind of recognize, don't we? The super educated person, maybe even a PhD, making your morning coffee. The source material for this says, hey, that's not just some joke. It's actually a huge red flag, a warning that our entire system of credentials is on shaky ground. You know, for our parents' and grandparents' generations, a college degree, that was the golden ticket. It was the clearest path to a good life. But now you can feel it, right? There's this growing sense that the promise is cracking, that the ticket doesn't guarantee the same ride anymore. And let's just talk numbers for a second. $1.7 trillion. That's the mountain of student debt in the US alone. The source material calls it a human tax you have to pay just to get started in the professional world. And you have to ask, is the payoff still worth that price of admission? See, it's not even just about the debt. It's really a problem on two fronts. First, you've got way more graduates than available jobs, leading to all this underemployment. And at the exact same time, AI is starting to gobble up the very entry-level white-collar jobs those graduates were hoping to get. But here's where it gets really interesting. What if none of this is an accident? The sources we're digging into make this really provocative claim, that the system is working exactly as it's designed to, that it has a hidden function that has almost nothing to do with learning. So instead of thinking about college as an investment you'll get a return on, what if we reframe it as a massive sunk cost? You pour all this time and money in, and you can't get it back. And because of that, we, as a society, are really hesitant to even consider that the whole strategy just isn't working anymore. So if it's not about skills, what is it for? Well, one powerful argument is that the whole thing is a factory for pedigree. A degree doesn't signal what you know. It signals that you have the discipline, the resources, and the willingness to conform to a long, complex system. In other words, it signals you'll fit in. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. The system isn't slow and inefficient by mistake. The point is the inefficiency. The 4 years of lectures and exams are a filter. They are designed to prove you can stick it out, which, is a valuable signal to some, but maybe not for building a dynamic, innovative society. And when you put it side by side like this, the difference is just whoa. The stated goal is all these wonderful things: skills, mobility, human development. But the hidden function, critics say, is much darker. It's about signaling your social class, keeping class structures in place, and honestly, just warehousing young people to keep them out of a crowded job market. Okay, so that's the problem. Let's shift gears and talk about a pretty wild solution that's proposed in the source material. What if we just got rid of the finish line? What if there was no such thing as graduation? And no, this isn't just about taking a night class here and there. This is a total rewiring of how we think about personal growth. Instead of this 4-year sprint that you're done with at 22, learning becomes like breathing, a constant adaptive process where being able to change and learn new things is the single most important skill you can have. So what does a world without graduation actually look like? It's not just total chaos. The idea is to build a whole new ecosystem for learning. So let's take a look at the blueprint for how this could actually work. This new system is based on 5 core ideas that basically flip the old model upside down. A couple of these are huge. Proof beats pedigree. That means your portfolio, the stuff you've actually built and done, is way more important than a diploma. And I love this one. AI is an exocortex. The idea is that AI isn't our replacement. It's a tool that extends our own minds, like an external brain we can use to think bigger. And here you can see what that looks like in the real world. Instead of that one-time degree, you'd earn stackable badges for skills. And get this, those badges could actually expire, pushing you to stay up to date. And check out the funding. Forget student debt. Imagine a system funded by public learning dividends, or even bounties paid for solving real problems in your community. This all means we have to start measuring success in a totally new way. We'd stop just counting how many people have diplomas. Instead, we track metrics that show how dynamic our society really is. Like, how quickly can people learn new skills? How much valuable stuff are we actually creating? That becomes the new scoreboard for a country's health. Okay, but let's be real. Is this some kind of perfect utopia? Not so fast.
To its credit, the source material also takes a hard look at the potential downsides and asks some really tough questions about this new world.
This right here is the big one, the proof paradox. If the whole system is based on proving your skills, who gets to decide what counts as proof? What stops the new committees and boards that review your projects from becoming just the new Ivy League, a new set of exclusive gatekeepers?
And that's where you see the real danger. A system based on projects and challenges could actually make inequality even worse. If you need the right connections to get access to the best projects, then who you know becomes everything. And if you don't have a financial safety net, you can afford to take a risk on a big project that might fail. These are some serious potential traps.
But in the end, this whole discussion forces us to think way beyond just small reforms. This isn't about fixing the university system. It's about taking a step back and asking a much deeper question. What is the whole point of learning and growing as a person in an age where we share the planet with machines that can learn too?
So we'll leave you with this to think about. If all the gates were taken down, if there were no finish lines, and learning was just this continuous journey that you designed for yourself, what path would you take? What would you be curious enough to master? The answer to that, well, that's where the future begins.